Hey, everybody. This is Will Stuyvesant, Regional Director with CEO Energy. I just wanted to thank all of you for being on the call today. I know that all of us are busy and have busy workloads and everything, but we find that those that are on these weekly corporate calls and our discussion calls at night are the ones that have been finding consistent success with CEO, having the ability to get some deals in, bring on new agents that are getting deals, which ultimately leads to getting bigger paychecks. For those of you that are not aware, we do have portals, online portals that we can use with Direct Energy that allows us in the residential market for natural gas and electricity to get paid much faster. I would highly recommend that you check into that, talk with your regional or national director to see how you can get involved. We have found that people that are submitting accounts in like this month will clear next month's commission run. So it's very fast. If you want some upfront commission income, I would highly recommend looking at that and building a team that are doing the same. The question I always ask myself every single day is, why would somebody get involved with CEO? And the first thing that always comes to mind is the fact that there's no investment to get involved with CEO. We offer a residual income that comes from services that are unconsciously purchased, which essentially makes us recession-proof. And we also help people who are unknowingly and unnecessarily paying too much for their utility costs. My favorite part about CEO is the fact that we have absolutely no cap on our income, no cap on our promotions, which essentially means we have no boss. If you go in and put in the work that our promotion guidelines require, then there's nothing stopping you from having an unlimited income and getting promoted as fast as you like to get promoted. We get paid 39 different ways through personal production, direct management overrides, and then with our promotional guidelines, if you get to senior, regional, or national, there's other multiple ways of income between bonuses and lump sum commissions. In addition to that, and our national director, Nathan Matlich, had made me aware of this. I normally used to talk about to make an extra $500 a month invested anywhere, what it would take to make that. And if you were to make an extra $500 a month earning 5% somewhere, you would have to have $120,000 saved. I don't know of very many banks that are offering that, but to get 5% is pretty tough, and it's typically not liquid if you have to have it in something earning 5%. To earn an extra $500 a month is pretty simple, especially once you get to senior consultant with our company. In addition to that, if you're brand new, we highly recommend that you go out and get your first 5 bills. So, and typically in a residential market, get them from your mother, brother, sister, best friends, people that you know that you wouldn't have any resistance talking to about the CEO opportunity. One of those 5 can be your own. And in addition to that, we also recommend you check out our basic training. You can find in your back office, it's a blue button that's right above the leaderboard. If you click on that, there's a 26-page PowerPoint presentation. It takes about 10 to 15 minutes to go through. We highly recommend that you check that out. In addition to that, every week we like to go over our leaderboard. Those that are on the leaderboard are the ones that are making paychecks or getting checks with our company. So our natural gas leaderboard, we have number 10, Buzz 8, number 9, John Bernard, number 8, Lance Lumsden, number 7, Will Stuyvesant, number 6, Lisa Cornell, number 5, Robert F., number 4, Holly Hawkins, number 3, Diana Bernard, number 2, Bob Zabik, and number 1, Joe and Michelle Z. Congratulations to those on the natural gas leaderboard. On our electricity leaderboard, we have number 9, Heidi M., number 8, Annie Serpa, number 7, Lioness, number 6, Terry Palmer, number 5, Stephen Bean, tied for number 4, Ed Sullivan and Steve Goldstein, number 3, Mary Maher, number 2, Joe Cudwa, and number 1, Mark Milstein. Congratulations to those that are on the electricity leaderboard. And on our telecom board, and this is great that we've got some agents on here. It's something that we're trying to get developed with CEO, and we're going to talk about that later. But tied for number 2, we have Nathan Matlich and Poch. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name, Poshan Felix. And number 1, we have the GTG Group. Congratulations to you for being trailblazers as far as their telecom and getting on the board for telecom. And for our team addition side, we have tied for number 2, Will Stiverson, Mary Sarah, Malcolm O'Brien, Bobby Hill, and Annie Serpa. And number 1, we have Sam Callan. So congratulations to all of you that are on the leaderboard. Checks typically follow, like I said, those that are on the board. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Nathan Matlich, our National Director. He's got a very exciting topic to talk about telecom. He's got one of our telecom providers on here to talk about how we can make money and get sales through telecom. So Nathan, go ahead and take it away, buddy.
Hey, Will, thanks so much for getting us started out on the right foot as always. Or if you're left-footed, I guess, start out on the left foot. But I'm just going to go ahead and mute everyone out. And, Al, you'll just go ahead and hit *6 to come on and make sure that you can talk to me. So just a second here. So, all right, sorry about that. Al, go ahead and hit *6, and you should be able to join me here.
Okay, I just did.
All right, thanks. I can hear you, buddy. Well,
Great.
Hey, thanks so much for joining us again today. I know that last night I had my team conference call every Monday night at 8 o'clock Central Time. I have a call, just a smaller, roundtable type call where my team jumps on. I know that Will has his team calls on Tuesday nights. And, Al was able to jump on last night and join us. He's able to jump on again today and join us. I just appreciate your willingness and dedication to really help this partnership go. And, I started getting really excited, about this partnership with Al Cater, Frank, Bandwidth Simplified, and your whole team over there for a couple reasons. One, I started looking back at when we first got the idea of adding telecom to our services, and looked back and saw that we had a extremely high success rate when we had tossed different opportunities over to you. And the other thing that started getting me excited and saying, hey, we really need to start getting people trained up, dedicating some resources to telecom is. For those of you who have not seen it, Al's created just a wonderful telecom submission form. It's an online electronic submission form in which any of our agents, all you have to do is go out, connect with one of your current gas or electric customer, or it could be, someone that you're prospecting. Ask them if they'd be open to having us take a look at their business phone and internet, what they're up to, see if we can help them out. Grab a copy of the bill, fill out this form, attach the bill, answer the questions to the best of your ability, and as soon as you hit submit, that goes straight to Al, straight to his email. You get an automated response saying thanks for your submission. Al's committed to getting on those leads within 48 hours and contacting, our agents and those customers. So, between the high success rate for the, small amount of telecom deals that we've sent Al's way, we're definitely looking to ramp that up. And then, just the ease of the integration that we've created here, it got me excited, and wanted me to get Al back on the conference call here to really talk about, what we're up to, what we can offer, some of those success stories. So, Al, maybe real quick, maybe you could give a little bit of background on yourself, some of the products and services that Bandwidth Simplified and now Consumer Energy Options can offer, and just kind of get us kicked off with a little bit about yourself and Bandwidth Simplified.
Yep, no, I definitely appreciate. Thank you for the time. Thank you, everybody's on the call. We appreciate the platform, appreciate doing business with you guys. On the call from our team is myself and Frank Stevens. Frank is our IT guru and one of the partners of Bandwidth Simplified. Bandwidth Simplified, we've been around about 2 years. Frank and I have been doing business together individually 8 years prior to that, so together about 10 years. And with the combination of myself and Frank, we're able to offer telecom and IT consulting, management and brokering for small and mid-sized businesses in the Midwest, domestically, in the United States, and also internationally. We started the company 2 years ago, actually a little bit over 2 years ago. We've been obviously discussing working with CEOs since the inception, working with Nathan and the CEO executives, and really trying to better understand what you guys are trying to get out of the program while we're also developing our business practices, and that's where we're at today, is trying to see how can we better get information flowing back and forth. How can you also better educate the CEO side of things to better understand the telecom market? I myself, I've been in telecom, again, like I said, about 10 years. I'm starting to dip myself into, referring and looking into opportunities for energy. But I also can see that there's gaps in between. When I go talk about energy, there's certain things that I need to call Nathan on or ask more questions on because I just don't know. So the point of the forum is to help get a centralized spot for all of you guys to be able to, see the questions and the necessary information that you need to submit to be able to get your clients a quote request or to be able to service your client in whatever capacity you are. But also with the form, I wanted to make it a more living, ever-changing document where I can continue to be able to add different tidbits and different tips and different questions to better educate yourself. So when you're asking these questions or when you fill out this form, it can start getting a little more repetitive. So you have the confidence to be able to go out there and bring up the telecom as you're also bringing up the energy that you guys are already talking about. Product-wise, we service telecom products. Anything telecom within the business, we can be able to outsource. For your basic phone lines, to your VoIP systems, to your basic phone systems, to your internet connections, be it Comcast, Time Warner Cable, TDS. We actually have a new agent program that we set up where we've got some local carriers out of Michigan. So our goal is to always have a carrier and a solution for any type of client, be it one user up to thousands of users.
Absolutely, Al. And, last night I just logged into the CEO Energy back office, and Rich Weinberg has already incorporated a button, so that all of our agents can access this telecom form that you set up. And it's pretty easy to access in the same way that when agents are ready to go and to sign up residential or commercial, energy accounts and add those to your back office, you click on the Add Account button, and instead of seeing one blue button, now anyone that logs in there will see two blue buttons. It'll say, I think like Add Energy Account, and then there will be another blue button that says Add Telecom. So you click on on your main home screen, you click on Add Account. You go to the main page for where it lists all of your accounts. You click on the Add Telecom button, and as soon as you click on that button, it's going to take you directly to this web submission form with these questions that Al has put together in order to submit these telecom accounts directly to Al. So we've tried to make it very simple. Tried to make it so that you add these telecom accounts into the funnel in the exact same way, in a similar fashion as the energy accounts. Al, maybe one of the other things that I just wanted to touch on here, and that I think is of value to a lot of our agents, is for consumer energy options. There's only really 18 plus or minus states where gas and electricity is deregulated, where there's some great opportunities where it's available all the way down to the residential, platform. And so oftentimes we'll get guys who are, even out here like in Montana, like me, where we only have natural gas, and it's only available in half the state, and we're kind of scratching our heads saying, hey, what else can we offer our customers to reduce our utility bills? And that makes me excited about telecom since, it sounds like you got a ton of carriers. You do it nationwide, Canada, Mexico. Is there any limitation for, locations or service or phone or internet or anything like that in your product offerings?
No. Bandwidth Simplified, we have contracts with some larger broker houses, so we have ability to service all 50 states and, again, international. There's no real limitation to who we can be able to service and what type of products. And it's, I'll answer your question, too. I know you said 18 states. For us, it's obviously all 50. And for us, under our umbrella, I'm looking at my CRM right now. We have somewhat, about 100, I think it's at 150 yesterday. It's like 120 individual service providers, but then we also have other carriers behind those that don't necessarily provide telecom service. They may provide VoIP or IT support or email hosting, some of the other things that we do as well, too. So we have a pretty wide range of service you can be able to provide for you and your clients.
Absolutely. And, Al, do you have like an example of where you might be talking to a business that's located in Chicago or Detroit or New York City, to where even though they're located here in the United States, the products and services that you're offering extend outside of the U.S. borders?
Let me see. Yeah. Well, one of Frank's clients, actually, we're working with one of Frank's clients right now. Frank, my partner. They have a location here in Mundelein in Chicago, the Chicagoland suburbs, and a location in Mexico, San something or another. I can't think of the name. But they have video cameras here in Chicago, so they monitor their factory down in Mexico. Originally, they looked at us. They're trying to provide some lines. They didn't want to pay the extra money. But we ended up looking at the solution, getting them a solution for fiber connection, internet connection, so they can be able to see their cameras clearly from here in Mundelein, Chicago, to their Mexico location. So there are many different ways we can be able to tie things in, and another way for national is over all the U.S. is the VoIP connections, because the way cloud works. You could be anywhere in the world and still be on the same system. So that's where a lot of larger international companies will look at VoIP for a phone system service. But yeah, and the other way that we work as well too, and I think you mentioned this in the call yesterday, is once you guys submit this form, we can be able to take a look at the information that you guys submitted in conjunction with the bill and get a pretty good idea of what your client currently has, and then follow up with them to see if they want to make any changes, if there's anything else that they're looking for, and be able to work with them from there. So any kind of information, as much information you guys can provide for us, we can be able to roll with it from there, and really be the quarterback throughout the process, so you guys don't have to feel like you guys are the ones holding the heavy bag during the whole sales process from start to finish with the telecom opportunity.
Absolutely, Alan. When we first started trying to get into the telecom space, we would have different trainings on, what's a POTS line, plain old telephone service versus what's, a VoIP connection and everything in between. Kind of what I figured out very quickly is that when it comes to telecom and IT, it's a very complicated, beast, if you will, where, you've been doing this 10 years. I'm sure you're still learning something every day. And when we first tried approaching this, we tried getting all of our agents, trained to be, in theory, a telecom expert. But, that's a very steep mountain to climb, especially when a lot of our agents are part-time, do this nights, weekends, during the day, whatever it might be. And I think that, one thing that you've done, which has made it very easy for us to move forward, is, hey, Al's the telecom expert. Frank's the IT telecom expert, so that our agents can now be the relationship expert, and you can be the telecom expert. And when you combine those two things, I believe that, our clients will get, excellent service and also an excellent product and someone who really specializes in this stuff and rolls up your sleeves on a day-to-day basis to do this. So that's something that's kind of gotten me excited and why I think, why we can now, roll this out nationwide, all 50 states, and be able to offer our clients a great product and service. What are your thoughts on that, Al?
I agree with what you just said there. I think when we first got started, we all don't know what we don't know, and we learn from experience. I think trying to roll out too much may have been too much originally, and taking a step backwards by simplifying things. Hopefully can be able to get more opportunities out there from both sides to help start getting some more numbers on the board. In regards to everybody's involvement and Bandwidth Simplified's involvement, I tell my partners we can be as involved as you guys want us to be, or as hands off as you want us to be as well. In regards to CEO, what we've seen so far and what I envision will happen is hopefully you guys can be able to get some opportunities and be able to work with a Bandwidth Simplified in the process for your customers. As you work more accounts, as you get more confident, if you want more full control of the opportunity, you don't want us to be involved, you just want the quotes, let us know. If you want us to be fully involved and take the initial phone call and run the presentation and do the demos, etc., we'll clearly do that as well. Just having the opportunity and bringing up opportunities, I think is it's great. Obviously, we're bringing up opportunities, but it's also a nice learning example for the rep that's involved as well too. Once you see one process, you see a second one, a third one, etc. Just in any sale, it becomes a little repetition, just like any sport you practice. The more you practice, the better you're going to get at it, and the more practice we get, the more opportunities hopefully we can be able to come to the table for everybody.
And Al, do you have a couple examples of maybe two small opportunities, two medium and two large opportunities that either Consumer Energy Options has brought you that we've had some success with, or even stuff that you've been working on that's really exciting, just to share some of your capabilities. And before I let you handle that one, I'll just share a quick personal story of a deal that I worked on with Al Keeter. When I still living in Chicago, I was part of a networking group. In there was a gentleman. His name was Rob. He owns Alpha Graphics, and they were getting ready to move to a new location. And in my mind, I always would remember that anytime someone would move, that was a good time to ask them about what they're up to for their phone and internet services. And despite me knowing next to nothing about phone and internet, one thing that I was able to do was just ask them, hey, are you going to be needing some new you're probably going to need to hook up your phone and internet service again. What are you looking for? Is there any way that that myself and my telecom specialist could get you a quote on that? And Rob, being the nice guy that he is, he's known me for a little bit. He says, yeah, hey, absolutely. Let me know what you can do. It's 20 or so phones. We'll need some internet, a couple other things. And I said, great. I'll get you in touch with Al Keeter. And, from that point forward, Al kind of took the ball and ran with it and, got him a real customized solution that was going to work very well for them. And despite me knowing next to nothing about, phone and internet and those sorts of things, we were able to, get Rob hooked up with a phone and internet, and I think even a backup internet connection that was going to work real well for them. So, Al, thanks to you for taking that ball and running and helping me find that success, for that account. But do you have any other success stories you could share with us?
Yeah. Will Syverson, we signed up, I believe, Abraham Law a couple months back, and that client, I think he only had like 2 or 3 phones, but he had an issue in regards to retrieving voicemail, and it was a law office. So we're able to help him, kept his current internet provider, able to find him a hosted VoIP provider that can be able to enhance their actual connect, their services within the office, so he can be able to actually get their voicemails. And I believe we actually saved them some money while doing so as well. And just to point out to everybody, there's sometimes in telecom where folks actually, you'd be surprised, it's not all about saving money. People want to save money, but in telecom and IT, there are times where saving the most money may not be the best for you just because of the quality of product. So the times our goal is to save people money and benefit them, but we also want to make sure that whatever they're getting is a good solution for their business. Another small, lower end scale opportunity, one I'm working on right now with Matt. There is a gym there in Michigan. I'm actually working with the client and I were emailing to each other this morning. I'm going to be sending him a call for Thursday. Currently just has one phone line or two phones within the business, but really only needs one. Put together a quote. We're going to be saving them roughly about $60 a month. But once I went on their website, just because I'm a nerd and this is what I do, I went on their website and realized that they have 4 other locations. And based upon the conversation I had with Tim, I can tell all of their phone systems are all different across 5 different locations. So I simply put in the email to the gentleman, hey, if we take a look at this location, we may want to look at your other 4 locations, because in theory, you can get all of your locations networked together so you look like a bigger business, be able to consolidate your bills, and be able to build a different kind of call flow for your outside end users. So we're in that process right now. Medium-sized account, work with Bob Zabik and his wonderful wife at Service Master of Michigan. Actually, we're going through the installation of those accounts right now, and those accounts should be billing here shortly. Each location had roughly about 10 handsets, I want to believe, maybe a little bit less, but it was a 2-location account, and we're going to be working with them because they have multiple locations, but we're working with them to, and we provide them both phone and internet at both locations. And some larger accounts that we've been working on recently, one with CEO, I mentioned the other day, the one we mentioned earlier with Lisa Cornell, roughly about a $2,000 to $3,000 a month biller on a monthly basis. And again, it was one that Lisa's been, one of the consistent reps to bring opportunities up, and she definitely found a good opportunity where we're able to, look at, even though it's a high biller, when she's able to work with the customer and open up, go under that, uncover that issue under the rock there, we were able to find that we're actually saving the client roughly about $1,000 from their current setup with the customer just switching providers and not changing a whole lot internally. They can be saving over $1,000 a month. And lastly, myself personally, we do more than just quoting. We actually create, the solutions ourselves. We're working with a local company here in Chicago. We're the headquarters locally, but there are 9 locations now. I'm going to be expanding up to 25 at some point, and we were actually hired to put together the full RFP, which is a request for proposal, to vendors, and we're going to be the folks actually. We issue the RFP. We're going to be evaluating the RFP, working with the client to decide on who to move forward with, and then we're also going to be helping with the implementation of it. And that account should be at a minimum probably $8,000 a month biller, and it's going to grow simply because of their business growth plans moving forward. So those are a couple different examples, small, medium, large, of some of the things that BAM Simplified is getting into today.
That's awesome, Al. It's just examples like that, really help, I think, a lot of our agents, because they can hear examples like that and they can think, I know of someone that owns a gym, or I know someone that owns a law office, or I know someone that owns a business that has a couple locations and that they're continuing to grow. And, so it just kind of shows that, it doesn't really matter what kind of business it is. The great thing about Al and his team is that they take a look at it, they roll up their sleeves and find out, what's going to work best. And, in my mind, there's kind of 3 buckets that these accounts fall into. There's one of the buckets is that, Al and Frank are able to, find solutions that save them money. The other bucket is that they find solutions that is going to take them out of what I call telecom hell, or a place where, someone's having all kinds of problems with their, phone and internet system. But more often than not, Al's finding, some of these solutions where it's a little bit of both. Savings, increased functionality, eliminate some of the headaches. And so I think that in the same way that on the energy side of things, sometimes we provide a fixed rate product where not only are they our customers going to save some money, but they're going to have that budget or price certainty. Al's doing something very similar with Frank on the telecom side of things, where sometimes they can find some savings and add a lot of additional value for that. So definitely excited there. For those of you who weren't on the call earlier today, one thing that I tell everyone is that over the weekend, unfortunately, I had a ski accident. I tore my Achilles tendon, so I'm actually sitting at home on the couch leading this conference call. And so at first, while I was pretty bummed out about that, it also got me thinking just about telecom and energy and the residual income that comes in with these contracts. Telecom, it seems like the average length of contract is about a 3-year contract that pays out residual commission. And when I started thinking about that, I actually was, turned my mood from being very down on myself to actually being very glad that, I was involved with Consumer Energy Options. Even though, I'm probably going to be getting a lot of couch time in here, the next week and have to get surgery, I don't do like any form of manual labor. And even while I'm injured, my paycheck still can continue to come in on a residual basis. I'm lucky enough where my next paycheck here that's coming in the mail right now is actually going to be my largest to date. And, if you're in, other businesses, whether it's construction or you're electrician, plumber, medical industry where you're always on your feet, or anything that's, not necessarily a desk job, I just feel fortunate that, we have great products, great services, and this residual income that even though those doctor bills are going to be racking up, I'm still going to be having the income coming in to pay for those things. So just kind of a side note there, something to think about. It's a great reason why, one, we need to get more people involved and grow our teams, and two, why we need to get all of our team members and ourselves working with Al Cater and getting him run him into some great opportunities there to build the residual income. Al, do you have a couple very basic questions or things that our CEO energy consultants could say to or ask our customers when they're in front of them to open up some of these telecom opportunities for you?
Yeah, I would just inquire on when your client last reviewed their telecom services and bills. If it's anything over 2-3 years, just ask them if you can be able to take a look at their bills, and we can be able to do an inquiry and just take a look at what they currently have right now and see if they're paying what they should be and getting the service they should be based upon their current setup. And other than that, trigger points of when telecom makes sense. If a client of yours is in a transitional phase, are they growing? Are they growing more salespeople and growing another department? They need more services. That's a good time to look at telco. Are they downsizing? Some folks may have too much telecom services and need to downsize. Are they moving? Somebody's moving locations. That's a good time to look at telecom typically as well too, because contracts are also typically tied into lease terms, et cetera. And then the other one is if like Nathan was saying, that telecom hell / somebody's contract's coming up. So we'll ask a question: if your contract's coming up for your telecom services, would you like to take a review and get a pre-analysis of your current services? That's probably the time I'd bring up. But just the general question of, hey, when's the last time you took a look at, you reviewed your telecom services? I think you'd be able to kick off the conversation well enough, because a lot of folks don't really look at the telecom services. Every time their contracts are up, a lot of folks, like your insurance, just let it relapse and re-up. And because of that, they're typically behind the ball in regards to services and pricing. So that's why it's a good time to take a look at the services.
Perfect, Al. You know, I'm really excited that we finally have a process in place to make this as simple as possible to run you into some great opportunities. When I talked about energy being deregulated in 18 states, what I really meant by that is there's only really 18 states where electricity is deregulated or that energy is deregulated all the way down to the residential customer, where we're finding a lot of success or have a higher likelihood of success on the natural gas and electricity side of things. I mean, on the large commercial side of things, we can service 44 states, parts of Canada, and that sort of thing. So I'm really excited about telecom. I'm excited about this partnership. Even one a small little opportunity that I think I'm going to try and get you ran into is one of my friends. She just recently bought a business. She took over a little hair studio, and she doesn't know if she's getting a good deal or not on her phone and internet. And the gal who's owned the studio before, she just had the same old phone system forever and hasn't really done anything. And my hunch is that those prices have just crept up over time. So when Al says hey, ask people if they've looked into this in the past 2 or 3 years, I'd agree that that's a great opportunity. And one of the other things that I think is pretty unique is that because telecom is a much different animal than energy. Oftentimes with natural gas and electricity, we're always comparing prices to what the local utility is, and so sometimes in a competitive market, the savings might only be 5 or 10 or 15%. The thing I get excited about on the telecom side of things is some of these savings proposals that Al is putting together. He's showing customers a 30% savings or a 50%, and sometimes it's about the same price, but additional functionality. I just get excited because it's just one more avenue where I've seen some substantial savings that Al is bringing to the table. And when we're providing our clients with that extra level of service and utility savings, it just makes them that much more sticky, and it will just keep them with us that much longer, because we're that one-stop shop for gas, electric, and telecom, which you don't really find much these days. Al, I'm going to go ahead and unmute the lines, see if anyone has any questions for you. So
okay.
Just hold on a second here. So, all right, I unmuted the lines. Do we have any questions for Al today?
Yeah, hi, Al. This is Malcolm. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How you doing, Malcolm?
I am doing good. Just a couple questions. Well, what is RFP? I have no idea what the acronym was. And the other one was, is there any business that you can close better, or it really doesn't matter? You just need to talk to them, see what's available for them.
The second question, did you ask, is there any particular type of businesses that we can work with?
No, that you can close better. Is there a percent?
No.
Like
No particular. No, you know what? I've been in telecom, like I said, 10 years. I remember 5 years ago I worked for a local company here, First Communications. Actually, I think they have a Michigan presence. I remember and that was around the time in 2008 when there was a little bit of recession. And I remember he never panicked at all, because the comment he made was, if a business is going out of business, the last thing they're going to turn off is going to be their phones, the internet, and I actually lump in their energy and electricity as well too. That being said, every business needs phones and internet, regardless of what size you are. So there's no particular industry or no particular size that we work well with. It's going to depend on who you're talking to in their current situation. There may be somebody who has a stellar contract and great service that they've had forever, and they're really IT savvy, and they're good. Or there's going to be companies that just don't, like the one we're talking with Lisa Cornell, that probably hasn't looked at the bills. I remember I looked at the bill for the first 5 minutes I saw it. I can tell they have not changed those services for at least 3 to 6 years. And I can tell that just because I've done this long enough. So those are folks that they don't want to make a change necessarily until somebody can actually show them. And they typically work with folks like you guys as more trusted advisors because they don't take a lot of, cold calls or phone calls or just random appointments. So any business is a good fit for us. To answer your first question, RFP stands for Request for Proposal. So it's more of a, you'll hear RFP and, some larger businesses. This company's a little bit bigger, so they have a board. So instead of us just going out there and getting quotes for them, we actually sat down and put together a full, what's called Request for Proposal of who they are, what they're looking for, what the qualifications are, and then we issue that out to companies, and then we have the suppliers bid back and give us their bids from there.
All right. Hey, thanks a lot.
A lot more detail than what you guys do.
Hey, thank you very much. And Nate, I have one for you. You hurt your knee. Was that a double twist or a double reverse layout that you hurt your knee on?
It was actually a backflip barrel roll.
Gotcha. Okay.
So all I can say is my brother-in-law that saw it, he gave it a 10.
Hey, just send out the video for us, okay?
Will do. So, any other questions for Al?
Hey, Nate, it's Will. I just wanted to add this, and Al, I forgot to even bring this up last night, but we've got a deal that we've talked about, and it's still out there. It's just the guy's real busy, but Al was able to figure out a way for telecom to be a revenue source for a client. And the scenario was one of my gas and electricity clients had a senior apartment complex with 181 apartments. They had the apartment complex had their own phone and internet, but each individual senior had their own phone line. And Al had come up with a proposal that would reduce the senior's bill by like $7 a month, but also increase their rent roll by like $7 a unit or a month or something like that. And I can't remember what the numbers came down to. I just remember an extra $18,000 a year in the apartment owner's pocket by doing this. And it wasn't an increase in rent. Or no, it was an increase in rent. So anyway, that's the way it's laid out. It's still out there, but that was another, I don't know, $3,000 or $4,000 a month in billing. So Al's pretty innovative with different ideas like that, guys, just a FYI.
Oh. Thanks for sharing, Will. Any other final questions, comments before we wrap it up for today? All right. Well, hey, Al, thanks so much for joining us. Hopefully everyone got a lot out of today's conference call. Is there any, do you have any last words of wisdom as we wrap up today?
No particular words of wisdom. Just everybody, good luck in your individual businesses. Please use us as a resource to be able to hopefully help expand your current portfolio of products and hopefully your revenue streams. And definitely keep our information. And if you have anything that comes up or any ideas, or even if you want to talk shop about potential opportunities, we're open for that as well too.
Oh, perfect, Al. Well, if you don't have Al's contact details, get with me, get with Will. We'll make sure to get you connected up with Al. And, of course, just jump in the back office, hit Add Account, and then hit the blue Add Telecom button. And just submit some information, and Al will have all your contact details. He'll get with you, and he'll start tackling accounts with you that way. It's always I always find that it's best, instead of just talking in theory about what Al can and can't do, just go ahead and start submitting accounts to him. And the best way to learn is, so that hands-on, trial by fire sort of, training and running Al into a good opportunity. So thanks, everyone, for joining us. Appreciate your time. We'll see you at the top, and we will talk to you next week. Thanks again, Al.
Thanks. Bye.
Thanks, Al. Thanks, Nate.